Welcome to episode 3 of the Business News Podcast with Zach.
And Adam. You want to know something, man? This is fun. I enjoy doing this. I actually really enjoy doing this. It's one of the highlights of my week.
Oh, nice.
Everything's always busy. I'm a business owner. You're a business owner. Things are always busy. And it's nice to be able to just get together with you and share some thoughts, share some ideas. Everybody's got ideas. They got things that they wish they could say. And it's nice for us to be able to express ourselves.
Yeah.
And the listenership is going up.
It's going up.
14 people.
Yeah.
Listen to that. Was that the last one?
That was the first one we did.
First one we did.
Season 4.
And that one's already had a couple of weeks for people to listen to.
Yeah, it's had a couple of weeks.
Uh-huh. And even though that's a small amount, it's pretty satisfying.
Yep.
So if anybody is listening to this episode that listened to our previous episode, I want to say thank you. I know you could listen to whatever you want to listen to. You can watch whatever you want to watch on YouTube. It's pretty cool that you listen to ours. Before there was 5 listeners, and we could plausibly make the case that it was just us and my mom.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe I was too. Now I don't listen to it once. It's a longer podcast now, so I can really only listen to it once. So that means we actually have some listeners. So I'm really appreciative that anybody would want to listen to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got a really good selection of articles that you chose this week.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. How long do you spend looking up these articles?
It takes me like 15 minutes, and then I read them.
And then you read them? I think you choose pretty compelling articles.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at all the headlines, and I'm like, the 5 that like jump out at me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if one is trash, I'll look for something else. But.
Yeah. No, you did a good job. You did a good job. So hats off. Do we jump right into it, or you want to tell this story about how you went to the arcade over the weekend? Go ahead. Tell us about it. What do you like about the arcade?
Well, the one thing that's nice about this one is that it's like 25 cents per game. Lots of arcades are like $1 per game now.
They had the dollar changing machine where it changes into quarters?
Yeah, it only took $5 bills, but...
Sweet. Smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move by the arcade, yeah. Bring your big bills with you.
Yeah, big bills only.
Nice. What games did you get into playing?
So they had one was like the Mario Kart with the wheel and the pedals.
Oh, good times. I love driving.
Was a lot of fun.
I love arcade driving video games where you sit inside the little cockpit and do the driving.
Also, Dance Dance Revolution is really hard.
I could see you doing Dance Dance Revolution.
No, it's so hard. I can't do it.
I would never do that. I feel so insecure about jumping around like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
All right, well,
I used to love going to arcades too.
Yeah.
So good. That's
a lot of people, I think, have good arcade memories.
That's what do they say? A blast from the past.
There you go.
Good call. All right, so getting into the business news about what's going on in the business world. Again, on the Business News Podcast, we're doing the most compelling, the most thought-provoking, the most essential news
Riveting,
articles.
that's the word.
Riveting. All of the news
that
you need to know if you're a business person.
It's
you call yourself a business person, you better be up to date on these articles that we're sharing with you because they're required reading. All right, you ready?
Otherwise you'll lose your status.
Okay, so getting into it, Tesla's solar slide, the fastest growing battery industries, and Shell's big bet on hydrogen, written by Benji Jones.
Yeah, Benji.
This is the Business Insider.
Shout out to Benji.
We're insiders. We're business insiders.
We're on the inside.
Because we read business inside of the inside of the business.
It wants me to download their app, though. I don't even have their app.
You're not going to do it?
I might.
Download the app. You might as well.
Right.
All right, Business Insider. Zach's going to download your app.
I'm downloading it.
I don't like putting apps on my phone. You enjoy having all the apps on your phone?
Most of the time. Most of the time, I'd rather use an app than...
Does it slow your phone down? I feel like the phone is going to get slowed down, you know?
Maybe your phone, not mine.
No. All right. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe...
The only thing that slows my phone down is Apple.
Maybe it's a misconception. I feel like if I put too many apps on my phone, it's going to run out of memory.
Yeah, I think that's a common phone myth.
Oh, that's a myth?
Yeah.
All right. So I should... Business Insider, I'm getting your app. You think that's a myth?
Oh, yeah.
Your phone can handle numerous apps, an unlimited amount of apps.
Yeah, as much as you can store.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to start putting way more apps on my phone.
Yeah, just start throwing them on.
Apps are quite efficient. You just push the button.
And it just opens right
You know
up.
how I feel sometimes when I'm looking at LinkedIn or Instagram? Like you literally have a little world installed on your phone. You click on that app button, and all of a sudden you're just in a world where all kinds of stuff is going on.
Just people, just
putting stuff up. People are talking to each other. They're writing messages back and forth. It's pretty cool, actually.
It's a wild world out there.
So this article is talking about Tesla's solar slide. There's a picture here of Elon Musk in this article. Check it out. It's Benji Jones.
Look at this guy. No smile. Just
sort of a sourpuss, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that expression?
Sourpuss.
Sort of a puss face, man.
He's like, yeah, whatever. I have
he,
successful businesses.
And he's
millions of dollars, but whatever.
He's standing in front of a pretty awesome looking car. I think you would be stoked.
It looks like a Ferrari.
Yeah, he looks upset. So.
Oh no, that's a Tesla.
It's a Tesla.
It's which Tesla is that? That's the $250,000 one.
It's a good looking car.
That's the one he put in space. It's floating up in there.
Good call. It's a sweet car. It is. That's a sweet looking car.
Yeah.
So I would assume he would look happier. But that guy has a lot of stress.
He works a lot
to run that many businesses, and he's got like five kids, I think. So
that's a lot of kids.
He's busy dude.
Yeah, busy dude.
Did you ever hear Elon Musk talking about the solar roofs that they were going to try to build?
I haven't heard him talk about it. I mean, I've read articles, but...
Okay, so I remember seeing him give a presentation or some interview where he was talking about putting some kind of cured glass on roofs, and the solar panels would be inside the glass tiles. Mm-hmm. So you could have a really cool tiled roof.
Right.
It would be aesthetically appealing, and then inside each of the tiles there would be a miniature solar panel. Mm-hmm. And he said the whole Earth could disappear, but the glass would continue on because it's tempered, and it was super strong. And so when I heard that, I thought that was super compelling. And basically what he was saying is that the way the math would work is the financing of the roof, the monthly payment would just need to be less than your utility bill, and it would be extremely worthwhile for everybody to convert. But now it's saying that they're falling behind these other competitors. So generally, I would say don't bet against Elon Musk. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, he's got a good track record.
He's got a good track record, and a lot of his ventures go towards the brink of failure before they start working.
Very true.
That happens quite a lot with his ventures. And certain guys, I think, are just on a different level, and their strategic vision inherently ensures victory. Even though it might take a long time, some other guys might be doing some tactics that seem like they're getting the upper hand. But I would say sometimes your strategy is so sound that you're just going to win if you keep going.
Yeah, Elon Musk kind of reminds me of Steve Jobs.
In that way, or Michael Jordan. Were you too young to watch Michael Jordan play?
Yes.
All right. Have you heard of Michael Jordan?
Yes, I've heard of him.
Who's considered in your generation to be the best basketball player?
LeBron James.
All right, LeBron James. So, but with LeBron James, you don't really get the feeling he's always going to win.
I don't watch much basketball.
But is there that aura about him that he's always going to win every single championship? Not like the
I don't think so. I think they just know he's the best.
I would say think about the Patriots.
Right. Yeah,
in the NFL, it's
assume
weird.
They're gonna win.
You just always have a feeling like no matter what happens,
they'll win.
They're just going to win.
That's true.
Their system is so good that there's always this underlying feeling that they're supposed to always win. Mm-hmm. And that's how it was with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, twice in a row, won 3 championships in a row. So there was just always this feeling like Michael Jordan always wins. His team always wins the championship.
Yeah.
And if you read a little bit about Elon Musk, I have that feeling about him. Now, it could be that he's so busy with SpaceX and it's so busy with Tesla that he doesn't have enough bandwidth to really win in the solar game. But I would say no matter what game he gets into, ultimately, his strategy is so sound that he's going to beat anybody no matter what. That's the feeling I get about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not more solar. Didn't you think solar was going to be...
I thought it would be a lot bigger by now.
Talking about Elon Musk, I remember in an interview he said that it would only take 100 square miles of solar panels out in the desert to give you enough electricity to power the entire United States. You'd have to build a grid to distribute it, but solar is way more than enough to power everything. Solar energy is enough to power everything. It seems weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just expensive, and like so many people are against it because they want to keep their fossil fuels going.
They do.
Because it makes them money.
But talk about misconceptions. I think there's a misconception that solar doesn't provide enough energy. Whereas I think human consumption of energy on Earth is a small decimal of the total energy consumption, like all the trees, all the animals, all the crops, all the all the ocean life. Humans consume actually a very small percentage of Earth's energy.
Right.
And solar is way enough to power all of our electricity, and we wouldn't have to burn anything.
Yeah.
So given that you only need 100 square miles of solar panels in the desert, it seems weird to spend a whole bunch of money on things like war and whatever else.
Yeah.
It seems like you just take all the tax money and just build the solar panels and
build
build the grid and just be done with it.
There you go.
You know? So who's the big company that is leading the solar market? These guys, Sunrun. Have you ever heard of them?
Never heard of them.
So they're continuing to dominate rooftop solar, yet I've never heard of them at all. How dominant can they be? Come on, Sunrun. I've never heard of them at all, and they're the number one. That shows you how little solar there is.
Yeah. I mean, and they don't have Elon Musk as their...
You know what they should do? Try to get Elon Musk to be their CEO. Don't you think? That's what I think Sunrun really needs to do.
Be a good call.
Yeah, Sunrun. Maybe try to recruit Elon Musk to come run your business. Another thing that always has reminded me what a delicate balance we all live in. We all feel so secure. Now with the coronavirus and everything, people are getting scared and talking about what if Armageddon breaks out, or what if we have a Mad Max breakdown of society. But whenever it snows or there's a windstorm and your electricity goes out, and you look out, it's like, where's all of our electricity coming from? It's just this one wire.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, it is.
There's just this one wire. There's a bunch of wires, and then there's one wire that just comes over and connects to your house.
Yeah.
It's like everything modern. It's just coming through this one wire.
Yeah.
And without that, everything...
There's like no backups or anything.
Everything just comes through that.
Yeah.
And if that little thing goes down...
Forget about it.
And they can't reconnect it, then you're totally off the grid. Just like that.
I know.
It's pretty delicate.
It is.
So that's another argument for why solar should be, ultimately will be implemented way more widely, and solar is for sure the thing of the future, so you don't have to be connected to some weird grid. Rooftop solar makes a lot of sense.
So much sense.
So, but anyways, I think if Tesla wants to win, Tesla will beat Sunrun. Look at these guys. I don't like their cars either.
I know. They're driving like...
Tesla will come install the stuff at your house in Teslas. And that's hot. That's hot, dude.
That's much better.
That's very hot.
Yes.
Yeah, these guys are coming...
Also, they're electric vehicles. Sunrun, look at that. Sunrun's got like a gas-powered...
Oh, it's a hybrid.
...truck or something.
That's a good point.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's not a hybrid.
That's not even a hybrid.
Oh, there's some irony there. Sunrun's coming to your house to put solar, and they're showing up in gas-burning vehicles. Come on, Sunrun.
A pollution machine.
Stick to your core values, Sunrun. There's some hypocrisy there, which I do not appreciate.
Maybe they need to get some core values.
And then the last thing was the hydrogen.
Hydrogen, not a bomb, but just car fuel.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the hydrogen stuff works. Is it renewable? Is it sustainable? The same way that solar is, for example? I know it has a lower carbon footprint or whatever it is, but I don't know. Let's see.
Not quite solar.
Hydrogen is widely used in industrial feedstock, and it is a clean fuel source. The problem is that most of it comes from fossil fuels. So it's clean, but you still need fossil fuels in order to obtain it.
And then there's the green hydrogen.
What's the difference? That's what I was talking about, is green hydrogen.
Electrolyzer.
That's green hydrogen.
Renewable energy.
Green hydrogen has the potential to clean up industries that have been hard to decarbonize, like steel production. I can't really get my head around that. That sounds pretty complex.
Yeah, that's...
But I will say this energy newsletter is pretty cool. So hats off, tip of the cap to Business Insider. I think that this energy newsletter is actually quite informative.
I think Benji's got a thing going for himself.
I think you're onto something. Benji, what's his last name? Is it Johnson?
Benji Jones.
Yeah. Maybe we look at this once a month or something. Just check back in on
the power line.
Check back in on the energy newsletter to see what's going on. And also Elon Musk, if you're gonna listen, in case you're listening to this podcast,
which we're assuming you will.
Can we get a smile in the photo?
Yeah.
Be stoked.
Just activate some facial muscle.
It's just as easy to smile as it is to frown.
Is easier?
Is it? Maybe. Even if it's a fake smile.
Also, it's like scientifically brings you happiness or whatever.
I would just
do it.
Let's me and you make a solemn pledge to always smile in photos. Do you smile in photos?
Yeah.
All right, me too.
All
Even
right.
if you're faking it, just smile.
Done.
All right, good.
Even when you're like so old and you physically can't smile, I
think
need to know that you're smiling inside.
Yeah, or you have your grandchildren just come over,
Just
like,
kind of hold it up.
just lift. You know what I'm saying? Just lift up the sides of your mouth
Yeah, there you go.
to make you smile.
Yeah.
Have you seen a really old person just kind of sitting around that can't smile anymore? I saw one recently. She's 100, and I don't think she physically can't smile anymore. And now I'm thinking about if somebody actually did do that to her in a picture. I wonder if she'd be pissed or if she'd think it was funny. Probably think it was funny.
They probably think it's funny.
And probably just appreciate mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, just shake it around.
Nobody really mixes it up with you anymore when you're 100.
They don't mess
That's
around.
got to be the sad part, that nobody really wants to mix
That's
it up
true.
or tell you jokes or try to be funny with you. All right, I'm gonna try to just be super funny next time I see a super old person and see if I can
interview him on the podcast.
Yeah, just wheel him in here.
Just wheel him.
She couldn't talk very well, but maybe we could get her to laugh or something. All right, so what's the next article?
Next one: 10 great ways to attract new customers to your small business.
Okay, I read this article and I remember thinking that not many of these were that good.
They weren't.
I was not. So, what are we here? This is Forbes.com. It's by Rieva Lesansky. All right, so I'm just going to go through all 10 real quick. Do you mind if I do that?
Pound them out
So
here.
one, offer new customers discounts and promotions. I don't like that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Nah.
All right, we'll swing back. Ask for referrals. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Contact old customers. That's good.
That's smart.
Network. That's pretty good. Update your website. I'm going to give that a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Partner with complementary businesses. Yes and no. Promote your expertise. I don't even know what that means.
What is it? Isn't that what we're trying to do?
I mean, aren't you already doing that? I don't understand what promote your expertise. So by showcasing your industry expertise, you can generate interest and even create buzz. That's too optimistic. Take advantage of online ratings and review sites. I mean, I don't know how you would do that. People leave you reviews. It's not like you can go online and leave yourself reviews. Participate in community events. That's all right. Bring a friend. So offer bring a friend deals. All right. So that's pretty much asking for referrals. So let's go one by one. I do not like, I've actually done a thing where I gave people a free month of our service just to get them in the door. I do not like doing that. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I think it devalues your business unnecessarily.
Yeah.
My own opinion. Second one, I think it keeps you from ever developing the skills that you need to be an actual, legit, good salesperson. I remember once when I had my first sales job, one day I had all these deals up on the board. But they were all discounted. And the boss came in and he said, I like that you got all these deals up on the board, but why are they all discounted? Do you suck? Do you just suck at explaining? Yeah, why do people need $500 off?
Yeah,
Can you not
good.
convince them that the service is good enough at its regular price? The only reason you should really be offering a discount, this is what he was telling me. Mm-hmm. The only reason you should really be offering a discount is if somebody wants to move forward already and you just are trying to get them to move forward faster. But if you're just offering a discount generally because you don't think your product's good enough, then you're just being lazy. Mm-hmm. You're not doing enough work. Have you ever been attracted by a 10% discount or a 20% discount? That would not push me over the edge. Would it push you over the edge to go buy something?
Only if it's something I was already going to do.
But it wouldn't convince you to do something you weren't going to do otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah. If I was going to do it anyways, it's all right, I'm going to get 30%. Yeah, I'll go do it right now. But I've never been like thinking, and I've never seen somebody say, I'll give you 30% off, and I go, well, I wasn't going to, but now I am.
But now I will.
Never. So I don't think that is a very good way to attract new customers to your small business. Asking for referrals is pretty good.
That makes sense.
But you already have to have the clients. You already will have to have attracted them and sold them in order to be able to ask them for a referral.
So it's not really a ground zero tip.
It doesn't really solve the problem that these people are trying to solve, although I guess you could ask friends and stuff to give you referrals.
Yeah.
So have you ever had to ask? You probably have never asked your friends to do business with you before, have you?
I used to sell like chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, and you would ask them to buy stuff from you. I had a buddy who was in a multi-level marketing thing.
Oh no.
He was trying to get people to switch over their cell phone plans to some early cell phone service.
Yeah.
And he hit all of us up. So I don't think it's that good to ask. I don't feel comfortable asking your friends for
It's
business.
kind of weird.
Yeah, but then you can tell them what you do.
Yeah,
Recontact old customers. This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably a really good one. Recontact old customers is a good way to drum up some new business. But again, this doesn't really jive with the headline, which is new ways to attract new customers to your business. Recontacting old customers isn't really attracting new customers. Isn't really attracting new customers. Network. This is good. Going out and networking, meeting people to get people, network people to send you referrals is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Update your website. That's no good. This is no good.
It's useless.
Don't worry about your website at all. What I don't like on here, we're not to the bottom yet, but where's just picking up the phone and doing some calling, or going out and knocking on doors,
Yeah.
or printing up some flyers and mailing them out.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in here about direct outreach, which is misleading. Because if you are a business owner and you're trying to attract new business, you got to do some cold outreach.
Yeah.
I've been doing so last week I dedicated myself to doing cold outreach. That is super effective. Cold outreach is really effective. Spend a couple of hours just reaching out to people you don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. What else we got here? Partner with complementary businesses. This is okay. Like, we have a complementary business.
Mm-hmm.
I have referred like maybe one piece of business to you. Although I think as we're doing, I'm going to start referring more to you. I got a good feeling about it. But partnering with complementary businesses is going to just take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It won't happen right away.
Yeah.
Because those guys aren't really going to be incentivized to send you anything. There's nothing in it for them.
That's true.
To sell your services. Promote your expertise. You should just be doing that all the time. Interways. Take advantage of online ratings and review sites. Is there a way for a company to take advantage of that, or is just making sure you're listed?
I think making sure that you mention to, like, when you do the work for your customers, ask them to put a positive review.
Solid.
Or an honest, positive review.
Very good point. So now that you're mentioning that, I'm thinking that a lot of these, this article almost should have been called "How to Leverage Your Existing Clients to Bring in New Customers."
Yeah.
How to leverage. So that's what this is. Not 10 new ways.
The headline is all
yeah.
It's all wrong.
So this should have been how to leverage your existing customers to get more.
Yeah.
And so you could build into your process, build into the fabric of what you do, always asking for reviews, always asking for referrals. Seeing if you have any complimentary offerings to people that you're working with.
Yeah, because any job that doesn't go well, they're going to leave a bad review.
Yeah.
So you need to ask your good customers to give you good reviews so that you have more good reviews to outweigh the negative ones.
Good call. And so I would also add on to this review thing that a good thing to do is to respond to bad reviews. I've seen a few business owners doing that, and that's pretty sharp. Like, someone leaves a complaint, and then the business owner gets on and said, "I'm so sorry you went through that. Please give us a call if there's anything we can do to make it right." You can do that. That's a pretty sharp thing. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good touch.
Good call.
Participate in community events. This one's pretty good. I think this is a good way to go.
Mm-hmm.
It may or may not pan out. It's talking about, like, going to a Little League, sponsoring a Little League team, or going to bake sales or whatever. It can work. Generally, people who are leaders in the community and successful people actually do participate in that stuff quite a bit, and you get a good chance to network at those.
Yeah, I think these last two, 9 and 10, participate in community events and bring a friend, are especially good for, like, restaurants and food trucks and stuff, because the bring a friend is like buy one, get one.
Good call. And that is that's offering a promotion or a discount.
If you're a food truck or whatever, it's easy to participate with Little League games or whatever.
Yeah. All right, good call. So I think if you were to check out this article by it sounds like a woman's name, Rieva. Maybe a woman.
I would
may
say
not
90%
woman.
Yeah.
Last name Lisansky. Sounds Russian. It's probably Russian or Belarusian. There's a lot of people from Belarus. Belarus is underground. bringing a lot of immigrants over here. People don't realize it.
Writing articles about
They call
small
themselves Russians, but they're Belarusians.
Interesting.
So
Belarusians.
I would check out this article, but think of it in terms of how to leverage your existing customer base to create new
There you
opportunities. All right, what's the next one?
I just lost it here.
Should we just go straight to 5 things every first-time business owner needs to know before getting started, or is it another one that should be in the correct order?
Yeah, we can do that one.
All right, 5 things every first-time business owner needs to know before they get started. I hope all 5 points on this are: you need to go out and sell, 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 you need to go out and sell. I bet none of them are. The book to read on this, really, this is a great book to read. It's Ready, Fire, Aim. You've probably heard me talking about it, where he says to get from $0 to $1 million a year in sales, you really should be spending 80% of your time selling if you're a new business owner. But let's see what it says here. So first of all, the Small Business Administration offer tools to help in creating business plans and estimating startup costs. People, the last group that you ever want to listen to about what you should do to get a business going is the government.
Is it so true?
The government is the worst at starting up stuff. I used to work for the government. You do not want to listen to this, and this whole article is talking about the Small Business Administration. These guys are going to give you bad advice. I guarantee it. You don't want bureaucrats telling you how to be entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not
All
wrong
right.
at all.
So
I know. And the first one, the first thing you need to know, according to, who wrote this?
Who wrote it?
Jeanette Alvarez. According to Jeanette Alvarez, the first thing you need to do is have a formal business plan.
That's bollocks. Do you know the word bollocks?
I don't.
It means it's ridiculous.
It does.
It doesn't make any sense.
Absolute bollocks.
Especially this word formal, because formal implies that you got it bound, you got it typed up and looking pretty. This is not good advice.
You've got it laminated.
Now, I would say way more important than having a formal business plan is being active. That's just that very first step. Just be active, and the act of writing a business plan is not active, and also whatever you think is going to work isn't going to work. It's 100% certainty that over the first year when you're in business, everything you thought that was going to play out is not going to play out. And a lot of times it's going to be very, very different than what you initially planned.
True.
And so that formal business plan is not going to be worth anything at all.
Yeah, because there'll be so many things that pop up. It's like, oh, it's not on my formal business plan. Now what?
Yeah, now what do I do?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's all over.
The plan was formal. I can't deviate. I submitted it for review. So and there's a couple of points here that are important. For example, thinking about your proposed product or service. But do you really need to put what your proposed product or services are in written form in a business? But you know what they are. What you really need to do is learn how to talk to customers about it. It doesn't matter if it's written on a piece of paper. The costs involved, there's something to that. But even so, if the costs don't relate to getting out and selling and doing client acquisition, the costs probably are not relevant or important. Your funding needs, I guess that's kind of important. Your competitors, potential customers and market opportunities are good. A lot of this other stuff is not important. And then she refers us to a step-by-step simple business plan creation guide from that entrepreneurial hotbed, the Small Business Administration. So here's what the SBA says. They've got a pretty long web page.
I know.
Dedicated to there's an appendix dedicated to.
Oh, you could either see Rebecca's plan or Andrew's plan.
I want to see Andrew's plan. I'm going to open up. It's on a Word document.
It's on a Word document.
SBA, can we not get a PDF? Why do you have me downloading a Word document, SBA? This shows you these guys are not on the cutting edge. Am I right about that?
They're far
and even
from
this
the
website does not feel very entrepreneurial. It does not feel like these are guys you should be taking business advice from. Does it? Does this website inspire anything in you?
I'm uninspired.
Wooden grain toy. This is an 8-page business plan with a whole bunch of stuff written on it. Don't write a business plan for your business, please. You don't need to. You really don't need to. Let's see what the next one is. Don't assume being frugal is the right way to spend. So there's something to this, but this article does not make it clear. And I would say this. Once you find out and this goes along with selling, once you find out how to profitably acquire companies, you no longer need to be frugal. I will rephrase it like that. Or customers. Once you figure out how to profitably acquire customers, in other words, if you could spend $1,000 and you can get a customer and the lifetime value of that customer, the profit is $1,500, then you shouldn't be frugal. You should spend $1,000. You should get as much money as you can and spend it, because every dollar that you come back, every $1,000 that you spend, you get $1,500 back. But I would say, based on what I'm seeing here, be extremely frugal in testing out how to profitably acquire customers. Test cheaply until you hit on something, and then you can start to spend more.
You can spend, yeah.
But once you find out how to turn $1 into $1.50, you shouldn't be frugal. And I actually do think that that's something that a lot of people will get hung up on. They'll see that something's working, but they'll be scared to take the risk. But if you're turning $1 into $1.50 over and over again, then that's when it's time to stop being frugal and start to open it up. Of course, your operations might not be prepared for that, but there is a grain of truth in what she's written here. Although what she says is some entrepreneurs misjudge costs, end up spending more than they budgeted, while others spend too little to give their business a realistic chance. Again, they send us to the SBA for a great startup cost tool.
We're back to the SBA.
Did she really check this out? Calculate your startup costs. Look, all you need is an Excel spreadsheet. You don't need to go to the SBA website and try to figure out what this is. See what it costs. This is just adding up a bunch of. This is just addition on. Don't go to the SBA website. All right, just really spend money figuring out at the beginning. This is something that if you read the materials written by very successful entrepreneurs that they go over again and again, don't waste your money, but make most of your spend initially, and start with small quantities, figuring out how much it costs you to profitably acquire a new customer. That's really what the name of it. If I could go back and redo it, I would spend a lot more time on that. Although I went out selling door to door, and I found that I could profitably acquire customers just going out door to door. That doesn't cost you anything, but spend your money figuring out how to acquire customers. That would be the smart way to spend your money. And once you find that out, you don't need to be frugal. Identify the right partners. I don't like this. I don't like this as a way to start off the 5 things first-time business owners need to know. I don't think you're really going to know what kind of partner you should have.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know what you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what the holes that are to be filled.
Like, you don't know. If you're good at selling, then you don't need a partner who could sell. But you don't know if you're good at selling until you try to sell.
Go test it out.
Yeah, and again, we have the SBA right partner analysis tool. I just made that up. That's not on there, but that is something that they would do.
Find your local,
get to
your
know
local partner.
So this is probably the best advice out of all of these, is to get to know your customers before you start.
So this should be number 1, probably.
This should be number 1, except for, do you really know your customer? Do you know whether they have a desire or need for your product or service, or whether your pricing makes sense? Do you intend on competing on price, quality, service, or all of the above? They don't really tell you how to get to know your customer, but this goes back to the same thing I just said in the previous points. The best way to get to know your customer is to go out and try to acquire customers. And then you learn how to talk to them. You learn if your price is too high or too low. You're not going to know that stuff until you really get out there in the market and try to mix it up.
There you go.
So this really should just be 1 point. One point, go out and try to acquire customers.
There you go.
That's all you need to know. Go out and try to acquire customers. And then don't skimp on marketing. Again, your marketing is going to suck until you really know how to. Once you know how to acquire customers profitably, then you know what should be in your marketing, and then you know how to not be frugal spending money on marketing.
Exactly.
So, Janet Alvarez.
Janet.
Yeah. If you don't like what we said here, then you come on the show and rebut us.
Yeah, you rebut.
Yeah. Although, I guess I appreciate the sentiment, but I would not have relied as heavily on the small business administration tools. I think you can do much better than that, Jeanette. All right. Next article. Which one is it?
It's man injured in shooting. Says gunman. Says gunman. He involved in business dispute. This doesn't even make sense.
Okay, man injured in shooting, says gunman, and he involved in business. Who wrote this? Come on, KSLA News 12.
Alex Onken.
So this is East Texas. But this is literally what the headline is. That's why you stumbled. It wasn't your fault. So what is it? Alex Onken. This is the KSLA 12 News from East Texas. This is a pretty obscure periodical you've chosen here.
I just thought it was funny, like a
funny.
dude just shoot him just because like he was upset about the business.
I wonder what
situation.
kind of business dispute. But so this is what the headline literally says: Man injured in shooting, semicolon, says gunman, and he involved in business dispute. So I don't know what this guy is. This is not only is it grammatically incorrect, it's also kind of confusing.
It is.
Says gunman, and he involved in business dispute. Following the shooting, the victim drove himself to the hospital. So he was all right. So I guess what was the crux of this story? What happened? You tell me.
Basically, there was a business dispute. The victim told deputies who the shooter was. Then he added that he and the alleged suspect were involved in a business dispute. No arrests.
So the guy's driving down the street. Another guy behind him starts, I think, tailgating him and like waving him over. Or did he crash into the back of him? How did he get him to get out of the car?
What?
So,
I thought they were just involved in a dispute. A business dispute.
One man is, okay, just before that, they were called. So he said the victim told deputies he was being followed while driving. So he's driving. There's a guy behind him. Now, I would have thought you would see in the rearview mirror that it's a dude you know that you have a business dispute with, right?
You think.
And you wouldn't pull over. Let me ask you a hypothetical question. If you were driving down the street and you had a business dispute going with somebody and you saw them driving behind you, would you pull over?
Absolutely not.
I would not.
Not a chance.
Would you just keep driving until you ran out of gas? And then when you run out of gas, you just lock all the doors? And just no way would you confront that person?
Well, I'd try to lose the tail.
You try to lose the tail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. How do you lose a tail? I guess maybe pull
ducking in and out of...
So weaving in and out of traffic. Like how they do in the movies? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you take a right, you take a quick left.
Do a quick left into an alley.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
then reverse out and drive back in the other direction.
Yeah, do the backspin thing.
Oh, do the
like
backspin.
Whipping around.
Yeah, try to find like some kind of little ramp and like jump over a pile of something over. But then, oh, you know what else is pretty good? If an oncoming train is coming, you speed up and you get by the train, and the train pulls in front of him.
There you go.
And blocks him, something like that.
You can even hop on the train.
Now, I get the feeling, given that this is Nash, Texas, that maybe the dude driving saw the guy and he's like, "Oh, I got a business dispute with that guy. I'm gonna get out and fight him." You know, that's kind of that's kind of how.
That's how they settle it out there.
I'm gonna assume that this are kind of like redneck guys. This sounds like redneck guys to me.
I guess they don't settle their business disputes on Instagram.
No, they do it with guns.
They do it with guns.
And tailgating. That guy's like, "Hey, I got a business dispute with that guy. I'm going to get my car and follow him around."
There you go.
Try to get him to pull over. So I bet the guy pulled over thinking he was going to have fisticuffs. Like they were going to get into a fight. He didn't know the dude was packing heat.
Right.
Had a gun. Packing heat. And they got a picture of a gun here. I don't know if it was a handgun. I mean, they're making some assumptions here that it was a handgun. Could have been a rifle, something like that, if it was deep country Texas.
Sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah. But you know what? I've never been shot. Have you?
No.
It would suck to get shot.
It would not be great.
It's really dangerous. Thankfully, this guy was all right.
It could be an issue.
But if people start shooting you, you could get in a lot of trouble.
You could.
All right. So
absolutely.
I would just say, yeah, do what Zach said. If somebody's tailgating you and you're in a business dispute, just keep driving. Try to lose them.
Don't pull over.
Don't pull over and confront them, or maybe try to resolve the dispute while it's happening, so that it doesn't follow you.
Escalate to a hand to gun combat situation.
If somebody wants a refund, just give them a refund. It's better than getting shot.
It's better than getting shot.
It's way better than getting shot.
There you go.
And then you don't have a bunch of people. Even if people were unhappy with you, at least you could say, "Yeah, but it didn't cost him anything. I refunded him his money." It hurts sometimes to have to go into your bank account and give up some money, but it's a lot better than this.
A lot better than getting shot.
Yeah. And also, if you're thinking about shooting somebody because you got a business dispute with them, don't do that. Leave the gun at home. Don't go make a big ruckus about it. It's not worth. Although no one was arrested, this guy totally got the guy totally got away with it. Yeah, so the cops went and interviewed him. Like, "Did you shoot that guy over a business?" "Yeah, I shot him." "All right, you're good. Just go ahead and go."
All right, yeah.
He drove himself to the hospital. I think he's going to be fine. Just please
good.
don't do that again. All right? For crying out loud. All right.
All right, we got our last article here.
This article cracks me up.
This is a good one.
This article actually cracks me up. So the spread of the coronavirus, even the title of the article does not take into account what the guys from Corona are saying. So the spread of coronavirus couldn't have come at a worse time for Corona beer. Is there anybody not buying Corona beer because of the coronavirus?
Apparently.
No. Did you read the article?
No, look.
Yeah.
Read the part about...
I know they did a poll, but listen to what the dude from Corona says. Constellation Brands, which brews several variations of the popular lager, says its customers understand there's no link between the virus and sales of Corona remain strong, and we appreciate the continued supports. Corona sales have grown 5% in the United States year over year, and that's better. That's nearly double the trend of the past 52 weeks. So the sales have actually gone up at a faster rate than they've ever gone up before.
Even though the coronavirus.
And the guy says it's like, no, our sales are strong. It has nothing to do with it. But you're right. Some people in the poll down below
then they do this poll. 38% of Americans wouldn't buy Corona under any circumstances because of the outbreak.
So I don't want to be too critical of my fellow Americans, but do you really think the coronavirus is caused by Corona beer?
I don't think so. I think they're just like, it's like a social thing now. It's like, I feel like I'd be supporting the coronavirus if I buy a Corona.
Are you just saying that to be funny, or do you actually think you're just being funny?
No, I actually think that's actually what people...
So you're drinking a beer, it's like, I'm pro-coronavirus, I'm having a Corona
I don't
brew.
think they want to be seen in public buying a Corona.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. People, the Corona beer has nothing to do with the coronavirus. They're not related. And so I can see the representative Corona. They're like, how's your business? It's fine.
It's
I mean, no one cares. It's like, yeah, we did this poll. Everybody says that it would. Well, the numbers look good. So, yeah, but it's the same name. He's like, it doesn't have anything to do with it, all right? I'm telling you. I'm giving you the information. And what sucks is it hits their stock price even though their performance is fine. I mean, that's the thing that sucks about it. The guy's trying to tell you, like, our business is the same as it always has been. In fact, don't you think that this maybe makes people buy Corona more? Despite what the polling says.
Because it gets
just because the name's out. Everybody's saying Corona way more than ever before.
That's very true.
Like, you could be talking to someone at work and they're like, man, how about that coronavirus? You're like, yeah, that thing's really scary. Which reminds me, I could go for an ice cold
go for a good
Corona.
right
You
now.
cut up the limes and you squeeze it in there.
There you go.
That could be good. What else is in the article? I guess they're releasing some new
like seltzer waters.
seltzer. Yeah. Oh, introducing Corona hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer.
Yeah. So seltzer is
Wait.
carbonated water. So seltzer is just club soda. Have you drinking the St. Croix club soda? The St.
LaCroix?
Is it LaCroix?
St. Croix.
St. Croix.
Get yourself some St. Croix.
Get a St. Croix. Sponsored by the St. Croix. The dude named Croix, he was a saint.
Yeah.
And now he's got
it's
a soda.
his own beverage.
So have you had the LaCroix?
I have.
You like it?
Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
It's not as good
I like
as soda.
the other seltzers better.
But you like flavored sparkling water?
I do.
I do too. It's a nice alternative. So I think this is that, but with booze in it. So it's like that, but it gets
Why wouldn't you just like have like what is it, Mike's or Mike's Hard?
Because you don't want the sugar. That's why you drink the LaCroix instead of drinking soda.
But
Because you don't want the sugar.
isn't alcohol essentially turned into sugar?
It does, but then if you put the additional
Additional
flavoring,
sugar.
then it's more. And then, so they did a tweet here, Corona USA. People are crazy. People are crazy. Introducing Corona hard seltzer, 4 delicious flavors, 1 splashy entrance. And then somebody says that this is in poor taste. It has nothing to do with the name of the company is Corona. So what, they're just supposed to change the name of their company or stop promoting their business?
What do they not like
It's a coincidence. It has nothing to do with the corona. It's just a bad coincidence that the coronavirus is the same name as Corona beer. But there's nothing they have nothing to do with each other.
They say that the brand should lay low for a few weeks.
What are they supposed to do? Stop selling their stuff? They got people need to get paid.
There's like so many families that depend on working for this.
Do they think that the people at Corona are like, yeah, people with the coronavirus, suck it. Huh. We're putting out new products with our name all over it. It's just like,
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
What about their families?
They got families?
There you go.
People are crazy in that way. You know what a lot of people do? You know the word conflate? They draw together two separate issues that have nothing to do with each other. That have nothing to do with each other whatsoever. They're conflating Corona beer with the coronavirus.
Right.
They're not related at all. I might go buy some just to support Corona.
Just
because I hear where they're coming from. I can just imagine the dude in this interview just, listen, I'm going to say it again. Hear me once and hear me now and forever. Corona. Are they spelled the same?
Yeah.
Then Corona spelled
Corona and coronavirus.
Hear me now and hear me once and for all and forever. The name Corona has nothing to do with the Corona. I'm pretty sure Corona comes from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
The coronavirus comes from China. Those are very different places. Have you seen the Corona commercials where the people are sitting on the beach? Have you seen the Corona?
Yeah.
They're sitting on the beach. Those people aren't sick. Those people are having a good old time. Now, what if Corona came out with a commercial where people were just like, just drinking beer, getting all sick? That would be something to complain about.
Yeah, that would be complaint.
This has nothing to do with anything. I would like to. I think I might. I think I might get a Corona beer.
There you go.
You're a beer guy. You like Coronas?
They're okay.
What do you like? Like kind of a more hoppy beer?
IPAs, yeah.
An IPA? At this point, right now, thought experiment. You go to a restaurant and they got a beer on the menu.
Right.
It looks really good. It's an IPA. It's hoppy. Do you like a nice? It's cold. You like cold beer? Ice cold. It's on tap.
You don't like cold beer?
I do, but some people don't.
Some people don't.
Some people don't. So, for example, my father-in-law doesn't like anything cold because he thinks it makes him. It's a weird Peruvian thing. He doesn't. He doesn't like cold stuff because he thinks it makes him sick, which is not accurate. But that's for another time. Okay, thought experiment. You're in a restaurant. They only got one beer on tap. It's an IPA. It's ice cold. It's perfect. What kind of food do you like to drink a beer with? Barbecue, a burger, Italian, pizza.
Yeah,
What's a perfect food? A burger. They bring you a big burger. It's made just the way you like it. Like, dang, I just need an ice cold brew to go along with this. They come up, the only brew that they got on tap, it's called coronavirus.
It's called coronavirus.
And you say, hey, is this beer going to give me the coronavirus? And they go, no. It was called coronavirus beer.
Before the coronavirus.
Before the corona. So I promise you, if you get the coronavirus, I'll give you $1 million. You're not going to get it. You drink that beer or do you pass?
Yeah. I mean,
course.
it's not gonna.
It's not gonna give you the coronavirus.
It's not gonna give you the coronavirus.
It's the same thing with regular Corona beer. It's just a coincidence. How did they name the coronavirus?
I have no idea.
Some jerk.
That's a great question.
You know who probably did it? They probably got ties to like Moores or Coors or Budweiser. So I bet Budweiser, the guys who own Budweiser, the Anheuser-Busch family, they probably got a cousin who works for the National Health Organization, and Corona Constellation Brands has probably been eating some of their market share, and they had a back office deal, and they said the next really killer virus that comes up, we want you to call it Corona. This guy said, I'll do that, but I need you to give me $300,000. They bribed him. Guy paid him $300,000, and now Corona. Why would they name it the coronavirus?
No guns involved.
No guns involved, man. Corporate sabotage. Corporate takedown.
Sabotage.
Why would they call it the coronavirus? Why would they name it after a beer? What if they call it the Big Mac virus or the McDonald's virus or the Pepsi virus?
Yeah. McDonald's not going to stop selling Big Macs.
Question. If it was called the Pepsi virus, would people stop drinking Pepsi? Or is that just, you can't give that up? Or the Coca-Cola virus?
No.
Nobody would give that up.
Forget about it.
Yeah, or the pizza virus. What if it was called the pizza virus? It had nothing to do with pizza.
People keep eating pizza.
People keep eating pizza.
No way. Yeah.
All right, so just pour Corona. Actually, people are still drinking Corona too, so this is all a moot point.
Yeah.
According to this guy, who's just pleading with people to understand, it has nothing to do with Corona whatsoever.
Well, even in their poll, there was still 62% or whatever that's like, yeah, totally, we're in.
Yeah. Who said that? Oh, 62 people said we don't care.
They're like, yeah, we care less.
38% of Americans, they would not buy Corona under any circumstances.
14% say they wouldn't order a Corona in public. See, that's what I was
That's
talking
what you're
about.
talking about. All right, so I am gonna get some Corona beers for sure. I'm gonna buy a 6-pack of
You
Corona.
be real public about it. Be like, hey guys, look at this.
Nothing to do with the virus, guys. I just like. I actually don't like Corona beer, but I'm just gonna go get
Just
some.
to support the brand.
Although any beer is pretty good if it's ice cold.
If it's hot.
And it's got
outside.
a little lime squeezed into the bottle.
There
You ever
go.
had that, a Corona beer with a lime squeeze?
Never.
That's a pretty good beer. That's a pretty good beer. Mexican dudes will serve that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some carne asada, some guac.
Dude, that's very, very good. All right.
All right, there it is.
So, hey, man, that's it.
There's your week.
To our 14 listeners, thank you. Keep listening.
There you
We're
go.
going to keep putting out juicy,
Riveting.
riveting commentaries.
Gravity defying.
Yeah. Next time you see us, we're just going to be floating around in our booth here in front of the construction paper.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll be. Actually, me and Zach are not sitting in chairs right now.
It's true.
Yeah, we're floating. We're
actually upside down. We just turned the camera around.
good call. The computer's actually hanging from the floor.
We've
Yes.
got- We've got it tethered.
Yeah, we're hanging upside down, and the computer's
Like a balloon.
floating up from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that is? That's because of the gravity of the strength of our articles and our commentary. We're actually bending the laws of the physical universe.
It's like hydrogen fuel, but for our podcast.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. So thank you for listening. Subscribe. I don't know.
Absolutely. Follow
Maybe,
it.
Yeah,
Follow it.
maybe subscribe.
Click the follow button. Just
We're doing one a week, but and I know we got to wrap it up, but I'm just going to go ahead and make a proclamation. If people start listening to this more, we could do 2 a week. I would be up for it. I don't know about you.
yeah, we might be able to.
What was that hesitation about? You don't want to do it?
I mean, if people want to
If people
to it,
listen, let's do this. What if we get 100 views, 100 listens to one of our podcasts? I say if we get up to 100 listens, we add a second episode every week.
Done.
Are you with me on that?
Let's do it.
You're in?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's a bet. So hey, like we learned about, bring a friend. All right. I'll tell you what. If you listen to this, we'll let your friend listen to it for free. All right. That's a buy one get one offer.
That's a great deal for
That's
them.
a great deal. Yep. So bring your friend. You got to keep paying, and then you can let your friend listen for free. You're in?
There you go.
All right. Have a good one, man. Have a good one.
Zip it up.
Zip it up and zip it out.